You know, guys, I feel like what the f- Ah! I haven't done a filler video in a while, so yeah, ReZero. Yay. With the news that season 3 will air next season, I know I'm late, our favorite characters are back to give us more trauma and more lollies. 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 Sexy. Even more sexy. Season 3 is almost here after a 3 to 4 year long gap. This season is still by White Fox, but the interesting part is that most of the core staff from previous seasons are absent. Now it's very apparent that there will be a lot of action this season, more than the previous ones, judging from the trailer. And it definitely looks great. If they are consistent with this, it'll be the best that ReZero had to offer since season 1. Animation wise. Now, animation is not really the forefront of ReZero. It is one of the better looking shows in the isekai genre, not like up there with Mushoku Tensei season 1 or Princess Connect, more so like on the same level like Slime, maybe lower, but it's how they adapt it. While it is all of the staff's effort for this good of an adaptation, it's mostly thanks to the series director for season 1 and season 2, being Masahiro Watanabe. Watanabe was affiliated with KyoAni back then and got more well known with his work on Naruto and Shippuden. He basically made ReZero different from most, I guess you could say, with the no OP or ED and having a longer runtime than normal. I think that was his decision to do that. In the visual side too, he also loves his very warpy perspective to really push through the confused nature of the scene, or just some neat layouts from the episodes. Most people's concern is the director change, because Watanabe really shaped what ReZero was, how it was adapted, how it feels. The new director, Masahiro Shinohara, only directed one episode from ReZero, and his track record seems okay. I don't have much to say, but judging from the trailers, it looks good, although there was a quote-unquote leak saying he's acting foolish. So I don't know what that means. Maybe he was licking his Felix Dakimakura. I don't know. It's not just the director. The character designer is different. She's also the character designer for Call of the Night. So that's interesting. The art director, director of photography, and more are different. Of course, there's other roles that's by the same people from previous seasons. But the people that's the more important for how the show will look visually did change. Going off of the trailer, since I haven't seen the one episode that got leaked, because I'm so appreciative of the staff working on it. I definitely don't watch anime legally. There is basically no change on how it looks. There's minor changes, like most of the characters look different, but the difference is just the jawline are more sharper than before, and maybe the eyes, although Elsa looks less like a character that would step on me, and Amelia's breasts are massive. Besides that, the art direction and photography looks pretty identical from what I remember. Maybe like the colors are a bit softer on like their faces. Most don't really have much of a complaint from the trailer. Maybe like the director, which we'll see soon if it can do it justice. And like the costumes are different from the light novel. I mean, why would you... Okay. Hear me out. I don't read the light novel, so I don't know what places or what arcs it's gonna adapt. You can watch like a Kid Nuts video or something to know more about the content of the season. In terms of animation power, people are speculating that there will be bigger names for this season. There's some cool action cuts and some neat looking impact frames. The action boards itself looks nice, and there's probably going to be some 3D backgrounds, making the overall shots more dynamic. In terms of foreground, I mean, there's this one shot of the monster thing being CG. So, I mean, if they use CG, who really cares? This season will probably be a bit more demanding since, again, a lot more action. I don't know if the runtime for all the episodes are gonna be normal or the same as previous seasons. I know the leaked first episode was like 90 minutes long or something, and I still don't know the episode count. People are saying there's 16, judging from this tweet, or the usual 24, 26, 25 episode-ish. You light novel readers can correct me on this. Most people don't know this, but the reason why this season had this much of a staff change while still being a White Fox produced show was not because the gap between seasons. It was the animation producer Tsunaki Yoshikawa leaving White Fox. He was one of the main Ani-P from White Fox, leading shows like ReZero, Girl Last Tour, Goblin Slayer, and many more, but left the studio to make his own, which is called Ateriel Pot Dark. I definitely butchered that shit. It's a very new studio, most known for Isekai Oji-san and the Osamu Dazai Isekai anime that's currently airing. Yoshikawa moved to make his own studio, and naturally some, if not most, of the talent from ReZero worked on Isekai Oji-san. Like the ReZero director contributed a bit, but now he's just being a freelancer, storyboarding the Naruto remake thing. I don't know when that shit's gonna release. And now directing a show called Zatsutabi, that's Journey. The aforementioned Kazuhiro Oda is the character designer for Oji-san and many more, although the amount of delays Oji-san had, which was fucking stupid how many it had, it affected season 2 quite a bit. Season 2 didn't look as good as season 1 because the schedule was not the best. The staff demanded some delays and splitting the core to give them more leeway time, and didn't help that season 2 was in production when the pandemic was at its peak. I'm not saying the animation was bad, it didn't look much different from season 1, but it was stiffer when the animation needs to pop off. Again, the overall direction was more important because ReZero is not really well known for being a sakuga filled show. No, it's how it's adapted and how the director understand the source material that much. Most of the well-known episodes are not because of the animation, it's about the whole narrative or situation that's occurring in the episode, and the anime is doing a really good job at it. It still makes the impact of the important or emotional moments hit and didn't lose the flair of what made ReZero great from the first place, but season 2 struggled behind the scenes. Kazuhiro Oda carried a bit in the animation side, being the action supervisor for the first core at least. Season 1 probably had the same schedule or time as season 2. Keep in mind the gap between seasons doesn't mean that the show is being worked on after the previous seasons are finished. That's not a good determination on how good / bad the schedule is. Maybe if they announce a split core or multiple seasons at the same time, that's when they're working on those projects after another. If there isn't any issues with the production like resource or time management, but season 2 had some help. Season 1 is basically a co-production between White Fox and Studio Nexus, although there weren't displayed as one of the studios on most sites, but Studio Nexus helped a lot. If you didn't know, Nexus was the studio that produced Eminence in the Shadow and more. They produced 9 out of the 25 episodes that the season had, so White Fox had a lot less work that they had to do for season 1. They had animators, directors, and others to help out with the project, and one of the main staff that's affiliated with Nexus is Kazuya Nakanishi. He's the director for Eminence, and his output is out of this world. He storyboarded all of the episodes in season 2 for Eminence, and basically 75% of season 1, and on top of that all, he was the action director for the show itself. And the same fashion goes, he contributed a lot for the episodes that's being produced by Nexus, 8v0, or the other episodes. Nexus did the same thing with another show, being Rakudai Kishi, that probably made the show look a lot better compared if it was only produced by Silverlink. There was also a lot of bigger names in season 1. You had people like Hiroyuki Takashima, Kota Sugawa, Ryuta Yanagi, and many more. Most of these people didn't come back to season 2, probably because they were focusing on another project, being Mushoku Tensei, since White Fox and Egg Firm made Studio Bind, so the people were probably lenient more on joining Mushoku Tensei since the staff attached to it and the schedule itself was more freer. Since season 3 is around the corner, we'll see what this new reformed team can do. There's a lot of doubt put in place for the new director. I don't see why since we haven't seen the show yet. Well, episode 1 got leaked, but I haven't heard any complaints on it yet. It comes down a lot more on how they adapt it rather than the animation. I don't think the concern is the quality, but more so the content on how it will be translated in the anime. There's gonna be another video this week, so look out for that. But don't get your hopes up, it's a filler video. Hopefully I'm not lazy. If you guys like this video, leave a like. If you hate it, leave a like. Comment down below what your thoughts on season 3 or ReZero or which is which girl. And yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. See you guys next time.